Every month, a ton of new games come out, and every month, GameRanx tells you the biggest ones that you're probably at least going to hear about. Hi, folks, it's Falcon, and today on GameRanx, the top 10 new games of February 2024. Starting off at number 10, it's Pacific Drive, a very interesting game. Something we've been looking at since it was announced back in September of 2022. It's a game where you drive a station wagon through this zone where there's surreal crap happening in the Pacific Northwest. A lot of the game centers around repairing and upgrading the station wagon. There's monsters, there's supernatural events. It's a pretty sweet looking game. It also has this sort of unique distinction of feeling familiar but different. Like, I can think of a few games that it reminds me of, but at the same time, if I say them, I feel kind of weird because I don't think that it really evokes any one of them strongly. Pacific Drive is coming to PC and PS5 February 22nd. At number 9 is Granblue Fantasy Relink, a game that kind of has a weird development history. It started as a collaboration between Platinum Games and Cygames, and the director of the game, Yasuyuki Kaji, is a Platinum Games guy. However, Platinum Games is not actually officially part of the project. That being said, it is an action RPG, and it's actually a pretty big departure from Granblue Fantasy, which is a Japanese free-to-play RPG from some Final Fantasy people, including Nobuo Uematsu. But that's something you can play through browsers, honestly. This is a real, game. I hate to say that because, honestly, a lot of people really like Granblue Fantasy. But this is a game that's going to be released on PlayStations and PC that you can buy. It has a story. It actually looks like a lot of fun. And I'm definitely going to give it a go because it does look like the Platinum Games influence is retained. That's landing February 1st to the PlayStations and PC. At number 8 is Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Now, whether this game ends up being really good or really bad, I don't know. But it's going to be big. It's going to get talked about a lot. And at its core, it's an interesting premise. Brainiac is taking over all of the superheroes and you're out there fighting them. And we've never really had something like that in a video game. You've never really had to beat the superheroes. And that's a great core for a game. So it's really been hard for me to dismiss this one outright, even though there are a lot of signs that the skepticism is warranted. I mean, it does look a lot like a games as a service game, and it's, I guess, not, but that's kind of the same problem we had with Gotham Knights, and it looks like, although Gotham Knights wasn't Rocksteady, this is Rocksteady, and it looks like the same problem. So we'll see. Honestly, again, there's a lot of good ideas. There's some things that we've seen of it that look fun. I just really hope it all comes together. Obviously, that's going to be something that we talk about. I'm looking forward to Jake's Before You Buy on this one, just because I think his opinion on the Batman games is pretty authoritatively good. He does a good job describing what's good, what's bad. His Gotham Knights one, completely agree with. So, yeah, keep your eyes out for that. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is coming to PS5, Xbox Series, and PC February 2nd. And number 7 is Banishers Ghosts of New Eden, an action RPG coming to us from Don't Nod. Obviously a company that just is committed to making a ton of different crap. I love them. Just great company. This is following the kind of vampire line of Don't Nod type game, and it seems to be larger in scale than other things that they have attempted. This is a pretty interesting game where you kind of control this couple of ghost hunters. They're obviously in love, and one of them gets killed, and she comes back as a ghost, which is obviously not ideal. But you play as her, and there is some sort of cooperative interplay between these two characters. It's a really interesting idea. That seems to be what Don't Nod is committed to doing, just coming up with these ideas that sound just a little off the beaten path and trying to make the best thing they can out of them. I really am excited to play this one. It's coming to PS5, Xbox Series, and PC February 13th. And number 6 is Helldivers 2, a squad-based shooter. The game trades in the original game's top-down perspective for a full third-person perspective, but it still has that unique look that the original had. The original came out back in 2015, so it's been a while. Aside from the move to a different perspective, it looks like a lot of what made the original into an interesting game is retained here. The armor system looks upgraded, but not dissimilar to the original. The co-op looks pretty cool to me. And overall, it looks like a pretty good upgrade to the formula of the original. The thing about Helldivers is I don't really know that it got its due. And I kind of think that with the shift to the third person, it might bring some attention to their formula. It's a good game. I hope it works as well in third person. I'll say that. But we'll see when it comes to PS5 and PC February 8th. And number 5 is Tomb Raider 1 through 3 Remastered. And yeah, these games have been in disrepair for a very long time. It's not exactly super easy to play the original Tomb Raider games, or at least it wasn't for a while. A lot of people have been trying to port it lately, and I have a feeling that is somewhere in the calculations that caused these games to be remastered. It's a remaster that kind of tries to make the game look like how you remember it. It does not look good per se, but I don't think that they're trying to do that. They're trying to remind you, hey, Lara Croft was like that in the 90s, and also games looked a lot worse, but not offensively bad. I don't know. It's fun. It's a very retro looking game. It's Tomb Raider. It's the old Tomb Raider games, and they're fantastic, groundbreaking games that changed third person shooting, acrobatics, and really just what was possible in games. Tomb Raider 1 through 3 Remastered is coming to the PlayStations, the Xboxes, Nintendo Switch, and PC February 14th. And number 4 is Nightingale, a crafting game with survival mechanics, open world, single player, co-op. You've heard the story more than a few times. Why is Nightingale one that matters? Because it looks like this. It looks completely different from all of those games. What in the hell am I looking at? Like, in some ways I feel like I'm looking at Skyrim. In some ways I feel like I'm looking at BioShock. But it's a survival game. It's a crafting game. A bunch of the monsters look cool as hell. It's just an overall really different take on something that it's probably pretty familiar at its absolute core. I'm really excited about this game because I don't know, it's just so far from what I would expect in terms of what a survival crafting game looks like. And I'll just say, I will absolutely play this. They 100% on aesthetic brought me in, and I hope that the game itself has the beef to back it up. Nightingale's landing on PC February 22nd. And number 3 is Persona 3 Reload, the remake of what is a fantastic JRPG. If you remember Persona 3, it is just wonderful. Just absolutely fun. Now, I will say it doesn't go as far as to do absolutely all of what was done in the original. There's some things that are being left out, like the female protagonist. But overall, it is a Persona 5ification of an older Persona game that really hasn't aged great in terms of how it works or how it looks. I'm really excited for this. I love Persona. It's one of my favorite RPG series. I am gonna absolutely dive headfirst into this. It's landing on the PlayStations, the Xboxes, and PC February 2nd. And number 2 is Skull and Bones. Yes, Skull and Bones, the Ubisoft offshoot of Assassin's Creed Black Flag from like a decade ago. It's coming out. It's a real game that's going to be buyable in this month, which is crazy to say. Absolutely bonkers to say, in my opinion. I feel like a time traveler when I talk about Skull and Bones. But what's interesting is there have been some betas throughout the last year, and there's some mixed opinion, but a lot of positive opinion about some of the ideas under it. And I suppose probably a good reason for that is because the original gameplay that inspired it, the Assassin's Creed Black Flag pirate ship stuff, is great. And I'm looking forward to playing this. I want to play Skull and Bones. I hope that it turns out to be good. It's coming to the PS5, the Xbox Series, and PC February 16th. And finally, at number 1, it's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, the second CD of Final Fantasy VII remade as a game. I'm really excited to play this. Final Fantasy VII Remake, just a really cool, really well done reinterpretation of the first CD of the game as a slightly more action RPG, but still retaining a lot of the ideas from the original turn-based stuff. I mean, this is going to be a much bigger, more expanded version of that. We got an open world this time around, I think. We got the bigger conceits of the story, and we also know there's a good chance a lot of things are going to be remixed and a little bit different this time around. That's the promise of the Final Fantasy VII remakes, because they exist in some kind of weird time loop thing. I love it. I'm excited to play it, and I'm going to play it when it lands exclusively on the PS5, February 29th. I do have some substantial bonuses for you. First off, The Inquisitor, a narrative-focused dark fantasy game that combines action with moral choices. Looks pretty interesting. I like the aesthetic of it. It's kind of got a bit of a wonky look to it, but you got detective stuff, you got supernatural stuff, and I don't know, it's just this right mix of clever and goofy looking. I want to play it. It's landing on PS5, Xbox Series, and PC February 8th. Next is Atomic Heart, Trapped in Limbo, a DLC that picks up after the end of the main campaign, follows along a different ending, however. Considering what Atomic Heart is, the thing that you're looking at right now is totally absurd, and I think that's just a great idea. I'm excited to see it. I love it when DLCs take such hard left turns. It's landing on the PlayStations, the Xboxes, and PC February 6th. Next is Mario vs. Donkey Kong, a remake/remaster of, well, Mario vs. Donkey Kong, which is a spiritual successor to the original Donkey Kong games, which came out in 2004 on Game Boy Advance. It's a pretty cool game, the original, but it is pretty dated and not great looking. I think what they've made out of it is very smart, and it looks like it retains the puzzles as they were. I'm looking forward to playing it. I like the original Donkey Kong. Yes, I'm old as shit. Mario vs. Donkey Kong is coming to Switch February 16th. Next is Islands of Insight, a first-person puzzle game. A game that kind of reminds me of Myst and The Witness. It's a very pretty-looking game, a fantasy environment. There's not a lot of open-world puzzle games out there, so if that's what you're looking for, this is where to go. That's coming to PC February 13th. Next is Foam Stars, which is a game that I have had my eye on a little bit. I love Splatoon, and I think Foam Stars is kind of a great riff on that idea, which does a completely different mechanic in place of ink. You have foam. Foam does a lot of stuff that ink doesn't do, in that you can kind of build with it, but it's also not permanent. It's foam, obviously. And honestly, it looks fun as hell. It's coming to the PlayStations on February 6th. Next is Jujutsu Kaisen Cursed Clash, a fighting game that Bandai Namco is publishing. It's a fighting game based on an anime adaptation of a manga called Jujutsu Kaisen. Honestly, these are usually pretty fertile ground for good fighting games. Bandai Namco generally knows what they're doing, so probably worth checking out. That's coming to the PlayStations, the Xboxes, and PC February 2nd. Open Roads is our next game. It's not to be confused with Pacific Drive. Open Roads is a very different game. It's narrative driven. It's a mystery thriller. I understand how some of the things sound like they overlap. They don't really. It's about a single mother and her 16-year-old daughter who are on a road trip, and a bunch of supernatural stuff happens. It's by the developers who made Fulbright, but they aren't calling it the Fulbright team because apparently one of the guys was not so great. I don't know. It's a whole thing. It doesn't really matter a lot. It's coming to the PlayStations, the Xboxes, Switch, and PC February 22nd. And that's all for today. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. If you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week. Best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription, so click subscribe. Don't forget to enable notifications. And as always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter @FalconTheHero. We'll see you next time right here on GameRanx.